Hello! Welcome back to Encounter Roleplay on this fine Monday. Hope you enjoyed Mouse Guard, and before that we had some Divinity Original Sin 2 gameplay. But right now we are diving into Inquisitor. What we called? Inquisitor. I was going to say Inquisition. Yeah. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Inquisitor.
You don't expect it.
Sneaks up on you. Warhammer 40k using the Mutants and Mastermind system. I'm so excited. We last time had a lot of fun, and this time we're going to have more fun sorting out the mess we made last time, I think. But before we get into that, how is everyone? Why don't we go around, say hello, say who you're playing. Let's begin, of course, with Just Jason, please.
All right. Yeah, no, going to be playing Vasily Taltos today, and you can find me at Just Jason, please, and here on Mondays tomorrow. Going to be doing some fun stuff, and also on Thursday, but we can get to that later. For now, I'm just happy to be here and happy to be, hopefully, planning a good heretic barbecue one of these days. So that'll be fun.
And Cleric, how are you doing?
Oh, doing pretty good. Kind of a hectic morning after a hectic weekend, but hanging in there. I'm Cleric, Cleric of Cord. I will be playing Sifenia Grigori, a sister of battle whose chainsword. One of those ones. Chainsword.
Very similar.
Yes, very similar. She has her chainsword and she has her pistol, and she's ready to kill some heretics.
Pope, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing quite fine. Hello, everybody. Pope World Build here. Playing our long-suffering, long murderous adept Kifkin Severus Dracon. Right now, trying to keep the kill count below 50 today. We'll try and do it.
But you got targets to meet, okay?
Yes. My next target is to hit 30? Okay, so, but keep things down and try and sort all this mess out and see what terrible, mysterious things I have advanced on my sheet.
And before I hand over to Bastian, our Dungeon Master today, why don't I start by reminding you guys about our wonderful sponsors. There is, of course, Fantasy Grounds, who we will be using here today as our virtual tabletop of choice. You can get a free account to try it all out at fantasygrounds.com. This includes maps, assets, rolling, you name it, it's there. They have some great mods for different systems, including 2e, which we have been using for Warhammer. You can also pick up miniatures from Wayland Games. So go to waylandgames.co.uk and check out a huge range of D&D, Warhammer 40k, minis, and more for up to 20% off. And you don't even have to put in a code. It's already discounted. Get in there. And shout out, of course, to our sponsor, Tabletop Loot, who sell amazing dice. I believe they have a sale on right now. And every time we hit 20 retweets, we give away a set of dice in chat. So keep an eye out for that. You can also support the show by retweeting, by making clips of your favorite moments and sharing those with us, and by donating, which is a really cool way to interact with today's game. For our game, you can give nat 1s, nat 20s, which have a slightly different impact from D&D, but similar critical successes and critical fails. Wild Magic Surges, and I'm going to say Table of Pets is still on the table. Mostly because I want a pet. So without further ado, Bastian, why about we dive into this dark heresy on this planet and the mess that we made for ourselves?
Definitely. So last week we ended up blowing up a mining tunnel and retreated to a nearby refinery. And today we won't be going into a recap because I have Donnie. Yeah, I played Donnie. Well, today we start at the table in a machine shack at the refinery where the Inquisitor has gathered the group around a Arbeitsvehicle they claimed earlier, and are about to discuss their plans, I believe, with Donnie at the table as well. And I think that's where we ended.
Matilda had just checked Donnie one final time for his loyalty and informed him that in an hour or two we would know what we were going to do next.
Okay.
Down, Jason, down.
Loyalty. Right, sure.
Yeah. So the last thing Donnie asked before he... are you shooing Donnie away from the table, by the way, in this case?
No, she was sat next to him eating what he was eating.
Yeah. Okay. Did you actually tell your name to Donnie? The official name at any point?
No. Unless
Nope.
it comes up on the file when he scans my seal. He
No.
would still know me as Josephine.
Okay. So
Josephine Danica, I believe. That's the
okay.
name.
So Josephine, should I go and get in contact with the Arbites, or?
I think perhaps you should wait a moment while I catch up with my colleagues.
Okay.
But yes, I think soon it will be important. We are just 5 people. That is not enough to stop what we have found here. And she's gonna kind of jump off of the table, go across to Safenia to check out the state of her mastercrafted saber, which was recently used to decapitate a suspected, or I can't remember if we confirmed or it was a suspected heretic, just in case there was anything
Confirmed.
interesting in his noodle. And his body, I believe, was carbonized. Because, you know, walking around with a bunch of corpses is not the most practical thing.
No. Svenja, Matilda comes to you.
Madam Inquisitor.
Are the weapons taken care of?
Yes, we have quite a armory at this point. But everything has been secured, weapons are cleaned, ready for use.
Good. Why don't you join me and Vasily and Kifkin and Donnie, and we shall debrief and rebrief. Much has happened in the last day.
Indeed. Before we do, I would like to go make one last check on the 3 that are still sleeping, as I have not checked them for heresy yet. I have only checked the one who awoke.
I trust your memory. I do not recall. You'd like. I believe they
It
are
won't take me long.
in the care of the facility.
It will not take me long. I will be right back.
I'm gonna assume you put them in one of the side rooms.
Yeah, I think we did. I think they were kind of given
Yeah.
over to staff to just deal with because they needed to just not be in our way anymore.
Okay. Because Go ahead.
Yeah, I had actually wanted to be in the room with them, since with my injured leg, I'm trying to give it like a little bit of a rest before anything intensive. So I'd probably be, Safenia, as you're walking in, Vasily would probably be just reading a prayer or two as he looks over the still comatose hostages, I suppose.
Are you healing?
Wondrously, marvelously. I sort of look at the gaping wound in my leg that's been sort of treated and bandaged, and
Will you
sigh.
be able to fight?
We'll always be able to fight. Efficacy is questionable, but fervor is not.
Very well. If you need anything, let me know. And she's going to go lay hands on each one of the 3 sleeping individuals.
Maybe
Um,
test
We can do that.
Vasily, since he's been in contact with a lot of shady people recently.
Oh, she's going to do that on her way out.
Oh,
She'll
wow.
put a
Okay.
hand on him and she'll put a hand on his shoulder and pray with him on her way out.
Okay. Have I ever seen Safenia? I don't think I have, like, touched somebody to sense heresy. I think Armless and Legless was the last one that I saw, but even then, I don't think I'd get a sense anyway. Does it intrude upon my mind, or is it just sort of like a barcode?
She focuses strictly on them. She puts her hands on them, and she closes her eyes, and she truly opens her heart to the Emperor's light, and looks for taint in the person that she's touching.
So the persons, they are, they're conscious, becoming conscious by now, one by one, but they're silent, and none of them has any taint.
Good to know. Good to know. So she'll go over and just puts a hand on Vasily's shoulder, says a quick prayer with him, and see if she can sense anything from him, if there's been any corruption.
Vasily. Jason?
Clean as a whistle, as far as I'm concerned.
All right. And then Madam Inquisitor wishes to meet with all of us for a debrief.
Yep.
I close my book of prayers and just make my way out with Sifenia.
As you return, Kipkin and Matilda are in conversation, re-going over the meeting they'd had with Governor Malik, confirming the details they both remember, preparing to brief you both on that meeting as you hadn't been in attendance. I am still fairly certain he is no mastermind, although he may know what is going on this planet.
He's not a mastermind, but he's definitely corrupt.
Perhaps, but there is little benefit to it. And I do not think he is mad with courtesy.
No, he speaks with the consignment of an old man destined to die on this wasteland of a planet. However, he is going to keep himself in luxury as long as possible and cares not for what comes after him.
Agreed. We should take interest in what comes after him. We were given names, but who would be the worst? Who seeks benefit?
We're operating with a lot of shadows here. We know, well, apparently Elijah, this popular leader of the Union, is dead, but we're not certain because we haven't had time to seek out a body, even if there would be one. There is a hierarchy that is in line with those that are in charge of the different factories. Leave here, head of Factory 3, Publius, is next in line of succession should Governor die. But
whoever does control the puppet has not seen fit to overrule or remove Malik before now. He would be an easy target to do so. But we don't know the state of affairs in the capital. We are so far removed, and have been for nearly a day now.
Oh, quite. No, there's a number of things that we're working in the dark about. I mean, I still don't know enough from Vasily about this Cornelius character that he apparently had a meeting with. And we have absolutely no information aside from what maybe Vasily and Sifenia can give us about this person or persons they met with before the explosion. So there's that. I mean, we're very much in the dark about these cultists, except that we know that they are here. We know that there is some tie to Calvin because he originated from here, and that's very much it. Aside from that and this Emperor
And the
Forsaken
metal
planet.
caused
Well-
the man to die. The man who was also in line for Governor Malik's position. Was it the metal itself, or was it some interaction with it that made him decide to kill himself? I saw only what I saw from behind glass, 2 stories up.
As for Inspector Joseph, I had him run a very domestic sampling test on the metal, which involved electronics. There was a spark, and after reading with the voltmeter, he just casually threw himself into a vat of acid. So, I don't know precisely what went wrong. Aside from it being a cursed thing. I kinda need a high-end mass spectrometer that we might be able to find at the processing center up above in the station, but I'm hesitant to have anyone else interact with the metal.
No, I believe you should check it. We need to know. We need answers that we can secure, and the metal is simpler than many others. Besides, we have a bomb should we need to destroy this place. Although we do not have long, we must seek Site 75, right? I think so.
Yes. It was the one that you said was marked.
Yes, circled on the map. As interesting as 72 and 73 are for their dismissive marks. But we are running out of time.
Speaking of which, I should probably see better to Vasily's leg to make certain that he's mobile. I don't know what sort of resources we still have available. I used a good portion of that med kit. So unless we can requisition some from this current factory, that I can put together a pretty good splint and patch up with whatever morphine or gel to patch the hole. I don't know how mobile he's going to be.
We will let Sifenia tend to the wound. Your skills are more useful in research.
Okay.
We must prioritize answers. And Vasily can talk without a working leg.
I think at that point, Vasily would open the door and, like, in speaking to Kifkin's sort of worries, he'd be fine for most of the way, but at a certain point, he'd pull out his chain sword and use it as a crutch on that side. It's sort of a walking stick, a cane. He'd crack his neck and sort of look to both of y'all.
Kifkin, keep your communications open so that you may be debriefed while you work.
Oh. You want that sample analyzed now?
Well, at least find out if there is a way to do it here.
Oh, there is.
Multitasking is the way forward.
I need candles. And the set of the Emperor's Tarot.
For a mass spectrometer?
No, we're going about this a different route.
I don't want the details. I suspect if Sifenia is in earshot, which she currently is, she may wish to take your head off upon hearing them. Sifenia, do you have supplies which may help Kifkin?
I do have a set of the Emperor's Tarot. And she'll pull
Good.
out a deck that's wrapped in silk.
I'll need this.
Candles should not be too difficult to requisition.
Candles and a very private space. Also, if you hear anything in a very low register and me screaming, just open up the room and bathe it in flame.
Why don't you use the Arbeitsvehicle and just close the door? It is heavily armored. We can seal
I
it
would
from the
worry
outside.
about if something goes wrong with this Inquisition. That in a space like that, it might detonate. So I prefer a room.
Yes, but then you could detonate the room also.
Well, rooms don't usually have promethium stores.
You say this, but
I
I
mean,
watched Vasily
yes.
walk into a mine and the entire place blew up. Things seem to happen around us, and we are in a chemical facility.
Okay.
I would rather have you nearby where I can resolve conflict quickly.
All right, Madam Inquisitor.
Stephania, you can remove the explosive. Set it in another room.
Certainly, madam.
And then I need you to see to Vasily's leg as best as you can. You have battlefield medical training?
Yes, Madam Inquisitor.
Good. Vasily, tell us of your time while you were away, during the prison and the escape, and the strange journey you took after that.
Before that, I want to see if there's anything like a wash station just to get this disguise off of me, because I just remembered that, like, my skin is still sort of caked or otherwise, like, made up to look like I'm one of the inhabitants and all that good stuff. Is there
It may be
anything?
useful for you to remain in your guise. We shall see what the plan is after we are done debriefing. I am sure there are a great many personal comforts and hygienes we would like to indulge in right now. Time is limited, and I need your debrief.
Oh, of course, Madam Inquisitor. I would sit right across from the table from her. Not much of interest, I suppose. Unless you consider a smuggling ring that could have potentially been funneling unconscious persons into a sort of chaos export station to be interesting. I spoke with one of them in prison. Max, I believe his name was. Burly man, took out his eye. Escaped with him through the laundromat. Found a serviceable chainsaw, and I sort of looked to it. And kind of hold it, wiggle it around. From there, met with an intriguing fellow named Cornelius, not with Maxwell, with a separate individual who's absent. Fortunately, due to the efforts of our noble adept, I sort of call out to Kifkin as he's going.
Could you provide some descriptions and focus on the important details, Vasily? Less gloating, more to the point.
Cornelius, older gentleman, similar hair color to mine, if I recall correctly. Not exactly noble, not exactly scrawny. Seemed to be smart. Was accompanied by a bald woman, pretty boy. That was the designation that was assigned to him. And the rather thick gentleman who you so effortlessly took care of. Beyond that, after I requested that fox, the one we blew away, accompany me to my next assignment, handed to me via letter, I should briefly intone. I found 4 unconscious persons.
Where are they now? These people, Cornelius and his entourage.
Disappeared, gone. Don't know exactly where, but they claim they have no responsibility of the riots. That claim is quite dubious to my mind.
No,
but
they have no responsibility of the riots, but they are heretics. We must locate them soon. They are deeply connected to all of this. Not just
Of
as
course.
smugglers, instigators.
The rest, I suppose, you can surmise. Stephania and I, so diligently, made our way to the mines where we encountered individuals of a certain heretical persuasion that we had explosive disagreements with.
Do you recall anything from your conversations with Cornelius about where he may go, what he might do, what his interests are? Or do you recall perhaps seeing a number, like the serial ones the workers have?
Do I remember any of that, Bastien? Would that be like a history roll or something?
What kind of details did you want to make out?
Specific details attributed to
Anything
Cornelius,
to help
like
us locate Cornelius?
yeah, the
Or his
barcode
entourage.
or suppositions as to where he might have gone.
Yeah, so you didn't get a glance at Cornelius's barcode because it was under his clothes. The others, or the woman had a very sharp nose. That was one of the key items. Well, you know the big guy which you killed, and the greenhorn. Let's call him like that. He actually had blonde hair. He wasn't shaved bald either.
All I can remember are physical characteristics. The pretty boy had blonde hair. The woman was quite hook-nosed.
I have seen
Cornelius.
these people. I know these people. We must find them.
I'm sorry. How could you have seen them?
That doesn't matter. What matters is that we find them, so rack your mind for a detail I can use. Stefania, tend to his leg. And Matilda, in her frustration, is going to go for a walk before she pops Vasily's brain, because she's in a mood.
Stefania has been tending the wound. She's sitting on the floor in her robes, tending the wound.
So as soon as you inspect it, you notice it's mostly a surface wound. So just putting any bandage on it will mean the pain will go away in a couple of days, but you should be able to fully use it.
She'll make sure it's well scrubbed clean.
Yeah. Oh.
And they give him the pain medicine.
In the back of this Arbites vehicle, I would like to jury rig a ritual.
Okay.
Yes!
Sounds
Just
good.
Charlie, not the Inquisitor.
So, this should take me roughly 20 minutes, and what I would like to call upon is the comprehend power, specifically for objects, which would allow me, in theory, to know events tied to the object, sort of like post-cognition.
Yeah. What rank would that be?
We're just going to go with rank 1. Just I'm not going deep on this unless I absolutely have to, and using the Emperor's Tarot as my focus.
Okay. So how this normally works, the Ritualist advantage which you took this week allows you to do powers as a ritual. Improvise a combination of what you want. I have to make a roll for that, and that's going to be your expertise in this matter, which is my modifier, if I'm correct.
My expertise for magic total number is a plus 11.
Okay, which will give me a plus 11. I roll in secret, and depending on how well I do, when he performs it, he's going to get an outcome. With magic in this world, it's all good. Then on top of that, you're using the Emperor's Tarot. And if you spend a hero point, I will actually make it give you some proper information just based on the Tarot.
Sure, let's do this.
Okay. So I'm first going to roll in secret. Where do I do that again? /hide. Oh, I've got a d20 somewhere here. I have a d20 here. Nice. All right. So you begin performing the proper rites for what did you call it again? Post-cognition?
Post-cognition, yeah.
Yeah, post-cognition. And what you can gather from it, basically, as soon as you start pulling the tarots, how many cards do you open?
Doing this, I believe this has been a while. The standard array is 6 cards.
Okay.
Formed into an I. 2, 1, 1, 2.
Okay. Let's have a look. So we have 2, 1, 2. Yeah, okay, I did look this up a bit. So what you're gonna get. The first one you draw, and I'm gonna explain it with your expertise as well, is the Blind Seer. And top right, you get the Crone.
Okay.
Since there's no actual list of how you should read them, I'm just going to give you a divination.
Okay.
There's some sources, but then the worst one for you is that you're going to pull the demon. That's the next one. A candle.
Okay.
And at the bottom, you pull the knight in a knight in shining armor. Not the knight as a knight, as nighttime. And then the last one, I'm gonna give you the Inquisitor.
Okay. So, history, problem, near future, solution. Okay.
What I will give you with regards to your knowledge of this is that you have the 2 opposing forces with the Knight and the Inquisitor, which could be you, would be logical if you believe in the Imperial Tarot. In the middle, there's the demon and the candle, and in this case, are they animated, the cards? I didn't think they were.
No.
Which means that there is a demon involved if the candle is lit. And then on top you have your opponents. The Blind Seer mostly denoting an unseen threat, and the Crone being some form of psyker.
Okay.
And I'll let you read into the rest.
So, after a good while and the smelling of something being burnt, Kifkin will emerge from the back of the Arbite's vehicle with the Emperor's Tarot wrapped carefully.
And I will also give you the actual ritual you performed, which would be a form of magic in this case. Is the history of the sliver. Is you get a sense that it's been torn away from a bigger piece, like a complete piece of an artifact, complete piece of armor, which somehow belongs to something bigger even. And that's all you get from that.
Okay. So Kifkin looking kind of like more harried than usual and wide-eyed, but carefully coming back with the Emperor's Tarot, giving it off to Savinia, hands somewhat trembling.
Look as
Okay.
though you've seen a ghost.
Worse.
She's going to
Okay.
take the tarot and wrap them while he's still holding them before she takes them. She's going to take one of the prayer strips off and wrap his hands holding the tarot in it and pray before she takes the tarot back.
No, Kifkin looks like deeply concerned and more far off than usual. Okay.
If it starts to tingle, let me know. I hold up the chainsaw and just sort of rev it a little bit.
No, it's one thing to read about these things, it's another thing to perform them. Okay. Okay. So, I have news. Of course, most of it's bad. But I know what the sliver is now. So, we are dealing. Our problem is there's a psyker on this planet that's trying to commune with a dark power.
Yes, there is.
And should they succeed in performing a specific ritual, they will summon a demon. The means of stopping this force, I pulled both the Knight and the Inquisitor. So, by that interpretation, it is a martial struggle in which you will have to be present. Primarily meaning either Safenia or Vasily, as you are both martial horses of the Imperium.
And you forget something. You
Yeah.
have killed more heretics than anyone else here in recent days.
I am just a paper
The
pusher.
brain is the mightiest of weapons.
Okay, sure. Sure. But no, this is an unseen conflict brought about by a witch as they are trying to play with an artifact, something found on this planet. That's what the sliver's from. It's from a piece of armor of something big, immense. And maybe...
Ruin. That was what we were told they were investigating most recently, but no one could get near enough to it. Perhaps someone did. You remember, near
Yes.
the factory.
Quick question for the DM.
Yeah.
In all of Vasily's experiences with the Astra Militarum, would he have ever have heard of a Titan?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so this sliver came from an immense object of supreme power. Yes, Kifkin?
As was interpreted by the ritual, a sliver from a piece of armor, and that armor housing something even greater, something immense, something of incredible power and potency. And this would be, in part, the thing that the psyker is using, communing with, searching for. That's uncertain, but it is a means to which this demon may be summoned.
Are we
knew of the
assuming-
psycho and of a dark ritual involving one or two. She glances at Safenia and then back to Kipkin and refuses to input any words into the rest of that sentence.
Are we assuming the object to be man-made or Xenos in nature?
Unknown, though, given that this is something extremely dark and has the taint of chaos about it. This is probably something man-made. The Xenos may occasionally exploit chaos, but they do not commune with it, not in this way.
I have a terrible idea. Stephania, you have the ability to sense chaos and heresy and things.
Yes.
And she glances to Donnie and glances back. Oh, well, he's going to find out anyway. I have the ability to search for things. To wonder the world in ways that others don't. Kifkin, is there a ritual that could briefly combine our powers to give us some idea, some ping on the radar?
Oh, you're...
We knew there is another psyker out there, which means there is a psyker that knows that I am here.
Madam Inquisitor, if I may, I do need to physically touch.
Yes, this is why I am thinking a combination, a brief extension of what you can do and what I can do.
Okay.
A combination of the Inquisitor and the Knight. No?
Yes.
Truth, it's just... Okay, I am not practiced in these matters. I have just read the legends and the lore of the Inquisition and of the Emperor, and I just was kind of able to perform a simple task which Imperial Seers do on a regular basis, and it was taxing, and it took me time. What you're asking for is a novice to attempt something that masters do.
Well, luckily for you, I am not a novice, and nor is Stephania. It will take all of us. And Vasily. I can know no one else with as much fire, with as much force. We are running out of time. We are in a battle of forces more immense than we had expected. This is a time to do. We have no leads.
Whoever they are, whatever they have, it is well hidden. Something this powerful has been kept hidden from the ecclesiastici in the city.
It is possible it was found at Outpost 75. They are mines. They go deep. But at which point I would rather not stumble into that. We should...
Not to be one usually filled with trepidation, Madam Inquisitor. I understand, of course, the ever-present and ever-looming threat of chaos. But must we resort to these measures immediately, when we have an Arbeitsforce virtually at our beck and call?
It's a pet for the Inquisitor.
Aww.
Yay! Alright, so we have the table of pets.
You are right to some degree. We should have Donnie reach out to the capital and find out the state there. I am aware of every minute that ticks past, however, and extreme times ask for new things of us. Are you so afraid of new things, Vasily?
I am afraid of no thing, Madam Inquisitor. I merely suggest that perhaps these efforts could be taken simultaneously.
Donnie can make a phone call, and so can we. We don't even know if it would work even remotely. It is as safe to try now as it is to try on the dawn of chaos.
Oh.
Kifkin, if you make that sound again, I will silence you for a very long time.
I think she means permanently, friend.
Sefenia, your part in this would be essential and impossible without consent. You are
But, Your
taught
Honor-
well and deeply. What is it your heart says the Emperor would want?
The Emperor directs us to purge and remove the taint of chaos and heresy wherever we find it. That must always be our priority.
And?
And I will do whatever you direct me to do to aid you in cleansing this place.
We are on a ticking clock, no matter what it is we decide. Vasily Kifkin, why don't you speak with Donnie? See what you can determine in the condition of the capital and what resources we may use. I would prefer you were subtle. There's an alarm bell to be rung. I'd rather that I cause it than the Arbites.
Okay, I will see what I can find out.
Fair enough. Small debrief and coordination between our most brilliant and our most... Pardon, Donnie, it's simply a phrase. Most expendable. Let's go. I sort of mutter and go into a different room to try and set up a battle plan with Donnie.
While I'd like to obviously hear what they're doing, but just while that's going on, Matilda is going to engage in prayer with Sefenia. Just regular, straight, non-warpy, weird prayer.
Okay.
And before they do that, or after they do that, actually, Sefenia is going to let the Inquisitor know about what she sensed from, is it Danny?
Dave.
At David at the head of the Arbites. What she sensed about him as she was checking him, and ask her permission. It's something that she's never sensed before, so she's going to ask her permission to also sense for heresy with Matilda to see if it's the same type of
If he
unusual
is the psyker.
sense. Yes. If I sense the same thing from you, then we will know
Yes.
he is the psyker.
I had a similar thought. And after you have checked me, you can check Donnie. I believe he is the only one here you have not inspected.
Very well.
And
Well,
what will happen is Matilda will offer her hand and begin saying the prayers.
Okay.
Matilda knows like 3 prayers, so do it quick. Because she'll
Yeah,
start
so-
looping.
That's fine. Oh yeah.
Charlie, basically, you as a psyker, you have the option to resist her sense.
Yes.
If you do, you will have to roll opposed will, and I will give...
She will not resist.
Sefenia.
Because she had the same thought as Sefenia. Now that
Yeah.
she knows there's a psyker here, same thought.
So basically, if you don't resist, Sefenia will just see that you are not a heretic.
Okay, but she should know that... Oh, because maybe he resisted. Alright, well, we'll try it one way, and then we can try it the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see what you mean. Alright, so we'll try it without resistance to start with. And then you tell me what
Okay.
the results are.
And then you'll have to roll an opposed willpower
Okay.
Alright.
for the second.
I'm having trouble getting into the server. Could someone roll a d20 for me?
You rolled a 4, which gives you 14.
That's it. You're not rolling for me ever again.
I rolled low, which is good.
So high is good.
I rolled
That's
an
12.
11.
11.
12?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
No, it's 11. 11, sorry. So
Could I
11
use-
means
Could I
you
actually
will...
use a luck?
Well...
Or no?
You can roll luck, but if...
me pushing back against you gives you the same feeling as you have
Oh,
with David.
right. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
First time
needed
I
to
let
fail.
you in, and then now
Right.
we're
So-
saying if it's the block that gives you the weird.
In this case, you don't so much find something weird, but you do. But you cannot feel whether she's clean or not, which would be weird as well. But it's slightly different context.
Okay. So but I don't sense from her the same thing as I did from David.
Not exactly. It's similar.
Okay. And she'll explain that.
So
When
it
you
is not-
resisted,
Hmm?
I felt something very similar. Not identical to what I sensed from him, but similar.
It is possible he has different abilities. The same power source. Or different power source and the same abilities, depending on how you look at it.
Yes.
But he is not a heretic.
No, there was.
Not touched by this is strange.
That's the thing. If when you are resisting, I cannot tell that either.
True.
It is possible he knew what I was doing, and in resisting.
Yes, when you see a sister of battle, resisting is your only option. Well, let us leave Vasily and Kivkin with Donny for a few moments. You charging in there would be suspect. I am afraid that the Psyker, if it is David or not, does provide shielding to his pets.
One thing, Madam Inquisitor, that I need to inform you of is when we were at the facility before Vasily blew it up, they are using ignorant workers on their surface level. Only those who are in the mines, going into the mines and working the mines, are heretics. And it is my belief that they are taking those that they bring from the city and corrupting them. But they seem to be all of the same mind. And they are all, as Calvin and Ava were, ready to die.
That is the
They
nature
have
of chaos and heresy. And especially if there is a psyker involved, the mind is not to be trusted.
It's as if they know that there are more of them than we could ever possibly purge, and it makes no matter if they die, their work will continue.
That is the nature of chaos, Savenya. It always believes in the cracks. And it makes sense that they keep their force above ground ignorant. It is easier to hide what you are doing when it appears legitimate, and important to keep the force below, on side, to maintain your secrets, to push them to work towards your goals. You did well, Savenya. But there is
Thank
much
you,
work
ma'am.
to be done.
So we'll go into the other room. Donnie basically says, I have to get into the comms room to make contact with Arbeit, get an update.
Marvelous, marvelous. It seems quite reasonable. Depending upon their situation, we might call upon you at a precise moment. Kifkin, what protocols do you think would be most appropriate in addressing the concerns that you so effortlessly divined?
Right now, given the state of things, the capital is in at least some level of uproar. We do not know if the Arbites have properly pacified the populace or not. If not, they are going to be busy. If the situation has been pacified, then the response, if I'm right, would be Protocol 7766. It's full-on, overwhelming force sent to Site 75. Full lethal options. Essentially, even though this isn't a hive city, it's hive city protocol for a purge. This would be purging an entire level of an underhive.
Essentially creating a war zone of Site 75.
Yes.
Wonderful. At that point, I think Vasily would sort of look to Donnie. Can I get a beat on this guy? Like, why is he, like, full on board with this? Like, he's just comfortable with the fact that we're about to send his people to death?
He's had a very serious face ever since you met him. You can roll me an insight to see how much you can gouge of his persona.
Hell yeah.
From what you...
Okay, that's 7 plus 14, so 21, I think. Yes, 21.
You get a sense of inevitability about him as well. He clearly has resigned himself to the orders of Matilda from all the discussions you've seen him in. And he has a like a heavy, serious face. As in, he hates that this is the situation, but this is the situation.
Oh, my dear boy, why so grim? I sort of lay a hand on his cheek and sort of look to him eye to eye. It is through destruction of our enemies that one earns salvation. Rejoice, friend. Do not despair. As the Inquisitor is here, so too is the Emperor.
He nods and doesn't mean now there will be death, I think, and some of those might have been my friends. Who knows where this goes?
Donnie, sacrifice to the Emperor is not sacrifice in vain. In service to the Inquisition, you will lose much.
It's still sad.
Believe me.
Now,
then let the tears turn to steam in the fire. And go.
Let's get you this info you need. And he walks off to a building with a big antenna array above it. Well, big, more like big antennas.
I'm gonna look to Kifkin real quick. Kifkin?
Yeah?
What exactly did you pull as you conducted your reading, shall we say?
Are you familiar with the story of the Emperor's Angel?
Only slightly.
Okay, so the Emperor is probably the greatest psyker to have ever lived. And he did a number of projects in order to unify humanity before the Great Crusade. He made something before the Primarchs. He made a weapon, a living thing, judgmental, angry, flawed, to purge humanity of one of its greatest foes, a daemon that had been plaguing the Earth for centuries. It fled to a planet. The destruction of that planet and the Emperor having to seal away his creation is where we find the origins of the Emperor's Tarot. I used it in conjunction with a few tricks I've learned from other Inquisitors, reading about their exploits, to divine this thing, parlor trick to masters of the art, but for a novice, arduous task. And with it, I was granted a vision and an understanding. Not something I've done before.
Glad to see you're on the right side of the ground.
Yes, but what she's asking for, I might have the language skills, I might have the know-how, but this is experimental. And she's trusting a novice, someone who has only read, not practiced, ever, to do something which even the Emperor prescribed to but a handful.
Perhaps it shows an immense amount of faith within your abilities.
Faith can be misguided.
Oh, dear boy. I sort of shake my head and tut. Blessed is the mind too small for doubt, I swear. Sort of ramble.
I'm no Ogren.
Out of curiosity, the readings that you have conducted, who do you think they're in service to? I know that heretics don't act for themselves. It's always in service to one of those four. I dare not say their name to invite their presence, but curious as to why we have not identified the larger threat. Oh, sure, we can kill minions and underlings all we want. But our focus must be more rigorous, don't you
The
think?
evidence points to two. And Kifkin's voice drops and gets to that sort of dark and terrible tone. The evidence points to two. It is either the prince or the schemer, or maybe both. Possibly worse, it may be all four, but the evidence points to two.
Would that it were all four. Could do them a right thrashing. I trust you have the good sense not to speak with Sifenia about what we have discussed here?
I try to avoid her.
A wise man. I pat his shoulder and go back to meet with the Inquisitor.
So, as an intermission, we had a pet donated for our Inquisitor Matilda. And I had a roll on the table of pets, which resulted in a 456, which is a mammoth. Now, I cannot fit it in right now, but I do have an idea for 1 or 2 episodes down the line.
just to make sure, big furry elephant thing with like huge tusks, right?
Well, I'll figure. Yeah.
Bow down before my space mammoth, Jason.
Yeah.
Bow down.
A mammoth. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I've got an idea. I've got a good idea. So, but we'll fit it in. Definitely going to be fun.
Do I get like an one of those AT-ATs? Because that's the closest thing I can think of for like a space elephant.
That's one of the things I had in mind. We could also introduce
The
a Titan
grandfather.
of some form. We'll figure something out.
All right.
But not in this situation. But we'll get around to it definitely. So I think. Do we want to go forward to the point where Donnie returns with info?
Yes.
Okay. So after a couple of minutes, takes about 15 minutes, Donnie comes back with some printed papers in his hands, and his face, although he was serious, is now kind of dire as he hands the papers off to Matilda. And I remember that we made you illiterate, so if you want a hero point, you can pretend you cannot read or something.
She would probably take the paper and instantly just hand it towards Kipkin.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that kind of obscures it. So
Which
it's not.
Donnie
it's
would
not
be
really
welcome to insight if he likes.
Yeah. No.
But she's making no active either way.
Okay. No, we'll just leave this one on the table. We'll get a better situation for that complication later.
Sure.
So, Kifkin, you get handed one information pamphlet and 2 warrants. One for, let's see, Antonius Denneker, and the other for his accomplice being...
Josephine Danica.
Yeah, Josephine Denneker. And any supporting staff.
What did you two get up to?
And the third one is a report of activity in the capital. Before you announce it, I'll have you read it, which states that the capital is now under lockdown and anyone on the streets will be arrested. After the incidents at the governor's mansion. And Donnie waits for you to say something or ask something. So he's like, so...
Yeah. Not
What is it, Kipkin?
surprising, but inconvenient. So apparently causing a small crater in their infrastructure leads to a warrant, especially when that individual just ups and disappears. So Antonius is wanted. I can fix that. Josephine's wanted, as well as the entire retinue of this rogue trader. And the capital is upon lockdown, which means they're not going to spare any forces. I'm guessing this is from the governor's office, due to the fact that his mansion was assaulted.
What are the details of that assault?
Well,
Does it specify?
The paper doesn't specify it, but Donnie is there, so...
I did, before we took a retreat, put out an order that those responding to the governor's mansion were to use non-lethal force only. Due to the fact that I believe most of those that were in the uprising were just innocent citizens, which may have cramped the governor's style. But lives were saved.
Donnie, do you
However-
know any more?
Yes, so I do know that the two of you are not actually rogue traders.
No, I
Al-
don't
Al-
mean...
Elsa
I meant-
would have... yeah.
I would be very interested in seeing you try to arrest me, but moving on from that... She's already adopted him. He now gets bashed too.
Okay. Governor. Yeah, so what I got was that the initial riots got out of hand. I have some word of more explosions, and after that, they seemed really pressed for time. So they just sent me some reports. I didn't disclose that you were here with me.
That's a good thing, because I have a feeling the governor and anyone who's a part of this conspiracy is trying to pass off all this civil unrest on the rogue trader as their a common scapegoat throughout the Imperium for when things go wrong.
I believe, though, that this is a non-problem right now. Right now, we are not in the capital. Right now, we have a site nearby that is half a day, at least, from the capital. It is possible this site was linked to the site that was just blown up. It would be the only thing that makes sense for Ava and her crew to have been mining there. If there was a connection, if there was an escape, if there was a link to site Outpost 75.
The one crimp this does put into things is we can't really call for backup. As
luckily, we do have our ship in orbit in this area. It is less mobile and less delicate. But we are not in the worst position necessarily because of this. But I agree. In tracking and controlling a wider spread across this planet, it is a problem. Well, I suggest we try and see if our experiment does anything. It is most likely to do nothing, Kivkin. Absolutely nothing. But I am very curious about this psyker. Safenia, would you lead Donnie in a prayer first? I believe we all need strength and protection at this time.
She'll put a hand on his shoulder. She's not in her power armor. She's just in her robes, but she will.
As soon as you put the hand on him, you know he's faithful.
And they'll recite the prayers, and she'll give a nod to the Inquisitor to let her know.
Or he's a very smart psyker.
Well, no, he could be a psyker that is not a heretic.
Okay. Yeah,
but no. In this case, he follows the words that he should know. So if you take him in any prayer that's not common, then he will just listen and amen you. And the ones he does know, he follows.
Kifkin. Yeah. It's Safenia. Why don't you arrange the tarot in a holy sign?
Okay.
Matilda is going to make this up out of her ass and hope it works.
Okay.
There are certain guidelines. I'm going to need some paint.
We have blood. Will that do?
I would rather not. That just giving this terrified side eye to Safenia. That's for the other ones. We don't
no,
blood.
Kivkin. The blood of the loyal and true is incorruptible. You know that metal and all other substances are easily corrupted. But if you would prefer to use paint.
Safenia's face is absolutely impassive.
the prescribed paint. I'm not going to just paint.
You remember there being paint in the garage
There's gotta
where
be
you
paint
parked
somewhere.
the Arbeits truck.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Goes.
I just really wanted to poke Vasily in the leg, okay?
That was
Really,
actually
oh my
my
God,
first thought
today.
too. Is Stefania just kind of reaches over, pulls down the bandage without saying a word, digs her fingers around a little bit.
Ow, man!
Like, we know it's pure blood.
But
Circuit
paint.
can go and get your paint.
Spoil
So-
sport.
yes. So
Love you, Jason.
Yeah, no
painting
shit.
a ritual circle on the ground of this place, marking it off with in the center a large symbol of the Aquila, and a few noted sigils of portent within the Emperor's Tarot along the outskirts of the circle, and a few binding runes because in case things go wrong, they're not going to leave this facility. Damn it. And
Not summoning a demon. That's chapter 2.
no.
It's a tier 2
Any
spell.
form of sorcery has at least a 3% chance of demon summoning, regardless of what you're trying to do. So, you put the binding runes on. You don't. That's a sign that you're a novice.
We would
So
hate for you to know this, Kipkin.
So we put the damn binding runes on. And then, yeah, if Safenia is willing to give let Kifkin use the Emperor's Tarot one more time, going to also see about grabbing some cloth as you're wanting a conjunctional between the two of you. Bind your hands together.
Mhm.
And have you stand in the center of the circle while he's on the outside, arrayed with a few sigils himself in a smaller circle, and is going to intone prayers to the Emperor in High Gothic and a few other languages. And then start reading tarot. Yeah?
Do not damage the tarot. They're
Oh,
a
I won't.
gift from my
Okay.
canoness.
So,
I- Understand.
And do not doubt Kivkin. This is a time for belief.
so I'm gonna need a ritual roll from Pope with my.
I'm going to use that nat 20 that's in the corner there.
Okay. Yep. I'll apply it.
I love you, Pope.
That's going away right now.
Yeah. Let me grab it.
Look, games are only fun when you do the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
I
So-
am not going to have the two of you become some sort of chaos spawn that me and Vasily have to put down. No.
No.
But can
No.
you imagine if we
That's
became
no
one?
fun.
We have
So
like
what-
the battle bot of Safenia and the Psycho of Matilda.
A
Yes.
psyker sister of battle.
There's one, and she's in the Black Library.
Well,
So,
yeah.
from a technical perspective, what does Matilda want to achieve here?
So Matilda would like to basically use Safenia's Detect Heresy and combine it with her ability to walk the warp to
Yeah.
create a radar ping. It can be generalized, but she wants a radar ping on the Heresy because we have very little time and very little leads beyond Outpost 75. And if it is Outpost 75, that's great. If it's not, if it's the capital, then she wants to know.
As soon
so
as
I am fully
Go ahead.
okay with this not working or having consequences. I just think it's cool when we use all of our abilities as one. Because that's what
I'm all
Avengers
for
do.
this. I am
They
all
assemble.
for this. If we can't split the party, then let's do this.
So, yeah.
as soon as
Okay.
this whole arrangement is sort of
Vasily has
settled
to
and
be
like
part of this though because he's the fire, he's the power behind us.
Yeah,
No,
no,
he's
I'm
that purges everything if it goes wrong.
I'm
He's
literally
with the
like at
flamer?
the edge. No, I'm
Yeah.
at the edge, weapons hot, just waiting to just blow this entire room to hell and back. Like I'm not.
So dramatic. It will be fine.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna set up this whatever spare flamer canisters I have around the actual like circle and point my flamer to the closest one.
Like, I fought a demon. They're not that scary. We'll be fine. All right, let's go.
So you used to detect heresy on the item, on the sliver, and
No, we're not using. Oh, we could use the sliver though as a focus. That's a good idea.
no, okay, you're using it on.
Basically, we're using Matilda as a project and extend of the power that Sifenia has to detect heresy in an attempt to find a ping. We're using Kipkin to create a ritual to bind us so that we can attempt to do this. And Vasily's force of belief and fire as
Just
emotional
save you.
support.
Yeah. Okay. Then I will allow it to work. Of course. You will
I was happy to
have
spend hero points in this attempt as well.
Yeah. You will have to roll me a psyker check.
All right.
Which you're in? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Which is a 21.
21.
Yeah. So that's going to be enough. You get several directions. So you get one in the you get a faint far in the distance towards the capital. Like if it's a radar 360, you get something there, and you get something in the direction of let's see, outpost 73.
Okay.
If you compare it to a map, which I'm gonna assume you will.
Yeah.
you
She's
will
got
do.
the map in her head, so.
Yeah, the map in your head, and one at outpost 72 as well. 77 was where you were, right?
Yes. And 75 is the circled one.
Yeah.
And the only other thing that she would look for is anything that pushes back or is a weird like black blip. Like the line goes out and there's a black blip where there's a psyker maybe blocking someone being a psyker. If I could push, if you wanted another roll, see if she could push that far. Because Matilda is definitely like, who is the psyker and where are they?
Yeah. So you don't so much get a void, but more like the if you would have a white circle, there's like a black line towards these outposts and a black line towards the capital.
Okay.
That's where it deviates from all the static around you. And you do also get like an absence of in the direction where you had outpost 77. But it's very hard to distinguish from the other blips, especially the ones from 72 and 73.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like us to roll as we finish this ritual?
A sanity check?
Yeah. Probably best. Corruption
this
check?
is,
I think that was this system, yeah.
yeah. So that's good for now.
Okay.
You spent enough resources, everyone. So. Okay. So Donnie is kind of still, especially after this, kind of okay. So where next? What next?
Is a very good question. And it's taking Matilda like a hot second to get back and like zone into the room.
As soon as I see her snap back, I'd like go up to her and like grab her by the shoulder and like see if there's any lingering effect of chaos, just that I can see visually or otherwise.
None.
Take your shot, Vasily, I dare you.
Only if I knew that wasn't you talking.
Hmm. We have a problem. Sites 72 and 73, as we suspected, are touched. 77 is a strange. And there is a presence in the capital, too. I didn't get anything on 75, though, right?
No.
It's the one that was set.
Yeah, no.
No. So everywhere that she has been, chaos followed. And there is the capital.
Suppose we found our psyker then.
Maybe. I cannot go that far.
Well, Madam Inquisitor, I'm sure you would understand my recommendations concerning our course of action. But I wonder if our associate might have any insights. And I turn to Kifkin.
Look again, sort of that spaced out look from before. Oh. Okay. So presences dotting around, but not 75. And there's something weird at 77.
Yes. And there is a problem too. The capital is where the spaceport is.
Mm-hmm.
If they are continuing to export their cores, that is their exit. Or at least the easiest one.
Okay. So,
We are in closer proximity, however, to 72 and 73. It is possible we could exterminate what exists there, consecrate what has been tainted. We could, of course, nuke it from orbit, which I remember is everyone here's favorite course of action.
we
But
don't have
perhaps
atomic.
there are answers to be found.
The
The
Emperor's
capital
son.
is a large place, even for me.
No, the Emperor's son cannot run interdiction on the spaceport, not without doing a lance strike, and that would be bad.
Donnie intercedes. If there's a lockdown, there's not going to be any ship launches.
That
Okay.
is good. All right,
The
then we will go
lockdown-
to 72 and 73. Donnie, will you be able to and willing to continue to monitor the situation in the capital?
I can. But at some point, someone is going to ask me to report in, though. I didn't get through to David, but I didn't seek either.
That is good. That is a problem for after 73, which I believe will be the closest outpost to here.
Yeah, I can probably set up verification from the squad car to here to keep up comms.
Good. Kif can do what you can for Vasily's leg. It is important that he is operational now.
Okay. See if there's another first aid kit somewhere around here.
I am sure the processing plant will provide. And she actually goes herself out the door to go find the poor foreman of this plant to get whatever first aid kits we need.
Yeah, you can pretty much resupply anything that is not weapons here.
Yeah, we'll we'll top up the med kit that Kifkin carries with him, and then also see about setting up since I have Inventor, we'll jury rig a splint and set that up for Vasily's leg, even though it's just a flesh wound. If something were to hit that place again, we want him to still be able to stand. And treat the leg. Let's play with super science, kids, and do
Yay.
a treat.
All right. Hey!
27.
Yeah, you managed to fix him up. Like it doesn't hurt
Marvelous.
anymore, even without narcotics.
Oh. You work wonders, Kifkin, in more ways than one.
Now you will not
Not
be such
your
a
efforts.
liability.
Charming as ever, Sifenia.
There are
I'm
showers here for the workers to decontaminate. You may all clean, and then we will leave.
So I think something we didn't properly narrate last time is the time of day, as it is kind of drawing close
It's
to
been a
nighttime.
long day.
Yeah, so it's been both a long day. Well, she started in the morning traveling, and so you can all get a night's rest if you want, or leave during the night. In which case, fatigue might become an issue later in the night.
Well, if it's going to take half a day to get there, we might as well sleep
How far
now.
is it to 73?
From here, just a couple of hours.
All right,
Good
so we
night
could
sleep
crash here if we lock the doors, lock ourselves in.
Yeah.
Crash
How-
here
how
for like 6
Anyone
hours.
remember how much time I put between here and 77?
About 2.5, 3 hours?
Yeah, it was a couple of hours between
Yeah,
Yeah,
3
but-
hours.
whatever
Yeah.
the number 25 we're at, right? Station 25.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
refine. Yeah, so let's
Refinery
place it
25,
at place it at 2 hours from here.
All right, so yeah, we can
in
wash
a
up
similar
the-
direction as the outpost.
And Matilda will order that they keep their minds away from what it is we'll do tomorrow as best they can. And focus on literally anything else. Anything else you like. Vasily, you have a creative mind. I believe in you.
I'm going to go, like, if there's like a public square or otherwise like some open area, Vasily's just going to kneel down there and just sort of...
I would suggest not going outside because of the acid rain.
He doesn't care. He simply keeps the mask on and keeps the chainsword
Okay.
right
That's fine.
in front of him and just sort of looks at it as the, again, acid rain falls. And he's just kind of sitting.
Sifenia mutters something about zealots, and
Oh,
gets
kettle
cleaned
black.
up.
Yeah, no kidding.
She's gonna go get cleaned up, make sure her robes are cleaned, tend to her armor, tend to her weapons, and then her mind basically becomes one long prayer. She just starts blanking everything else out.
Matilda is going to speak with Yara and the other three, and give them a plan, which is a complete lie about what we're about to do. And just talk with them about the planet and just make conversation, see how they're feeling, kind of small talky stuff, so that their minds can't be used against us. They're not coming with us, incidentally, but it's just kind of tying up loose ends with those four. I'm not killing them, Kipton. Stop nodding at me. We've already
so-
checked. They're clean.
Donnie will actually go into one of the sleeping one of the bedrooms and just clean up his gear and go to bed. It's just late in the day, expecting a long day. The three other hostages, they are very akin to the one you spoke with before. What you get, the ones that do want to talk about, tell about kidnapping, which they had no chance at all of retaliating or getting away. And they were all workers, different facilities. They don't know each other, and they are
She's
just
going to
happy
tell
to be
them
alive.
that there are renegades that were attempting to smuggle them off to other planets and private processing plants and steal them away from the good work for the Emperor that they were doing. That for now they'll need to remain here at Refinery 25 as there's been a riot in the capital. And that's kind of basically it, and that we're going to attempt to return to the capital tomorrow.
Okay.
To assist. She doesn't specify that she's an Inquisitor. She does specify that she works kind of for the Emperor and for the Arbites. That kind of story, which is all kind of half-truth about what's going on, with the exception of the plan.
These three had pretty much accepted the situation they're in. And they acknowledge it and will wait for help. We'll wait to be picked up once the riots are over.
Do not contact your families for now. It would be dangerous to do so.
They're not.
We must keep our families safe. And then Matilda will go back to that garage where we parked the Arbeit's vehicle, and I think she's going to rest in there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a sub-compound in this facility where you have the garage and then some side rooms, some bedrooms for travelers.
She's definitely more comfortable in not a bed, basically. So she kind of makes use of one of the maybe benches or something.
Okay.
And that's what she does.
I think at a certain point, Vesely would probably dodge out of the rain and not getting permission from Matilda at all, but start wiping off the stupid disguise that he's been sort of forced in. I think he'd probably actually duck into the garage. So I don't know if you want Matilda to be there, sort of witnessing him, like, get out of his skin, quote unquote. But somewhat literally considering the acid rain, but it's probably like the top layer. It's a good exfoliation.
That's up to Matilda.
Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Despite not receiving orders to do so, Vasily is sort of wiping off his disguise. I would assume at about the same time that Matilda is coming into the garage to rest. So I don't know if you're already there or if you want to just, stumble upon Vasily being insubordinate in this manner.
I think she would walk through and maybe give him a look, but not much further regard unless he actively did something. Not really in the mood to have a fight with Vasily right now. Is the general atmosphere.
I'm also okay to forward to the trip and the next day, unless people want to do specific things before they go to bed.
Unless Jason, you want to do something.
I mean, Jason goes back to his normal skin color now, which is a lot darker than the people here have.
The only thing Kifkin's doing is taking a long shower and getting the remnants of Fox off of his body. So he's no longer and cleaning his robes. Finally cleaning his robes.
All right. So,
You don't look
Okay.
nearly as frightening now.
yeah.
Just washed off plus 10 to intimidation, you fool.
I don't need caked on heretic blood all over me. This doesn't. No.
But it just adds a certain je ne sais quoi to the look.
Oh, de heresy.
Je ne sais empereur. Yeah.
Alright, so we all get washed up.
Yeah,
Cecily,
y'all
did you say anything to Matilda when you came in? As she's kind of going into the Arbeits vehicle to rest. You're muted if you're talking to me.
No, I think he didn't seek a confrontation either. So
Good.
he was just cleaning up, right?
For her own safety, Matilda full on like closes that Arbeits door and locks it from the inside.
All right. So let's go to the next day. I think I think I can assume that you're leaving early, like
Yes.
crack of dawn, break of day, sleeping late. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 2-hour drive. The rain has stopped this day. It's actually quite a clear day. Not too much fog now that the rains have cleared the skies a little bit of lingering gases. And as you approach the facility, is there any specific plan you're drawing up on the way? How to approach?
I turn to my battle-trained comrades for their input.
We are to
Phelan 5,
presume.
way I think that.
We are
That
to
one.
presume that these mines that we'll be traversing, it would be best to presume that they are active war zones, at the very least. More specifically, heavily armed and armored, most likely. Confined
And
spaces
expecting us.
and expecting us. Yes.
Grade 73, Bastion.
Okay.
Based on numerically, that one should be closer to 72.
Yeah, it is. It is close. It's closest. And if you were to look on a map, it's like in a diamond shape, where the 73 is the closest to the refinery you were at, and then you have on left and right of it, you have 72 and 77, with 77 being further away towards the east. And then you have 75, which is top middle. Yeah. If you were to take the north orientation. Then
Does anything about this layout strike Sefenya or Kifkin as significant?
in terms of historical layout, no, but Kifkin will instantly know he can draw a perfect square from the 4 positions on the map.
Okay. I would like to just on offhand make a occult expertise check.
Okay.
See what this might portend. 25.
25. With that, you will know that for locations like this, and you haven't seen the inside of the tunnel, right? Correct?
No,
You've
not
only
yet.
heard description from Vasily and Sefenia.
Yeah.
So if there were to be a structure, the location, if there were to be structures at each location, it would have to be coordinated. Regardless of their meaning, it is a coordinated position. Because stuff like this doesn't happen at random.
Oh, great. Okay.
That's really
If-
not new information though, because we already had the map and we knew that they'd been figuring out sites.
Yeah. So, 73 it was, right? Yeah,
Yes.
the closest. As you approach from a distance, as soon as you get within sight range through binoculars, it looks like there's a smaller than the Outpost 77 site, but you don't see anyone guarding the entrance. And let's say you're a couple of kilometers out when you can actually get sight on it, but from this distance you don't see anyone. Is there? You're just gonna drive up the road, or are you gonna? Yeah. Okay. As you approach, the facility is empty. No, there's several shelters built for vehicles, but there's no vehicles in them. There's 3 abandoned barracks, like container offices. And there is an entrance to a tunnel, which leads down at about 45 degrees angle. That's what you get as soon as you drive into the compound.
Oh, did we drive all the way in? Okay.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Park in
We'll
one of
look
the
for traps.
all right. So you can roll me a perception then. Everyone can, as you scan the surface.
Question: what is everyone's
Yes.
positions in our current vehicle? Who's driving?
Probably
Okay.
Donnie, I would think.
Oh yeah, or done.
Kipkin volunteered. Unless
Kipkin
you'd
drives.
rather Donnie was driving.
No,
I'm-
I'll drive. I'll let Donnie have a chance at survival.
I'm going to use one of my luck points to reroll.
That's a +10 for me on perception.
And for me,
That's better.
yep.
Okay.
Oh, no.
28 from Charlie. Okay.
And
21 from Stephania.
and 13 from me.
So Charlie's the first that is going to notice is that the last time anyone has been here, as soon as you see tracks and footsteps, is at least several weeks ago. The tracks that lead that are over the open grounds, they're that old, and any footsteps are so. There's been so much rain that any footsteps are definitely faded away.
Kipkin, could you take the charge that we have and rig it to explode on a delayed timer?
How delayed?
Few hours?
Yeah, with the materials I've got, I can rig that up. That's not too hard.
I am hoping if they notice the explosion, they won't notice that we hightailed it out of here previous to that. And they will suspect that we are here and not wherever it is we are going. And she's being very careful not to speak aloud anything to do with other sites now.
Sure. No, that can be done. It'll just take me a bit.
That's okay. While you are doing that, Vasily, Safenia, do you feel safe enough to go down and take a look in case there are materials that we don't want scattered by an explosion?
Yes, she's in her power. She'll be in her power armor at this point.
Full regalia,
Yeah.
carapace armor, and everything. Okay. Perfectly fine.
Does that suit you, Kivkin?
Sure, 6-hour timer.
That would be good.
All right, I'll work on it. Yay, jury rigging and technology rules.
Sorry, you can say no.
No, 27. It's done.
All right, and Matilda is gonna stay in the car. She is not getting out.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Are you sending Donnie down with him?
She'll look towards him.
He's in a carapace which you gave him from your ship.
He's safe.
Having your sword and one of your sword collection swords and the carbine that he took.
Madam Inquisitor, perhaps
Boyfriend's out the mines.
We ain't gonna hurt the boy.
Stefania would recommend that he stay with the Inquisitor, that she have backup if necessary. Should anyone attempt to spring
Donnie,
a trap on
if you
us.
are to understand what we are doing here, you should go with Vasily and Stefania. It is your choice. If you stay, you will sit in the driver's seat and wait in case we need to leave in a hurry.
No one else is staying? Then
Oh,
Believe
I'm
me, I
staying.
can look after myself, and Kifkin will be right here.
okay.
As
Then it's
Kifkin's
up to you where you need my.
plastic.
Yeah. So where
He is the deadliest of us all.
I can hold Overwatch here, or I can go inside. It's up to you. It looks abandoned, so.
A
Go with
decision,
them.
man. Initiative. I
Go
sort
with
of
them.
yell
Be
and-
cautious of traps.
Okay. Affirmative. And he follows the other two.
Don't get my boyfriend killed.
What a good soldier. I sort of grumble to myself and sort of go in
I will
front of him
protect him with
squarely.
Vasily's life.
And as I leave, it's been a long time since I've initiated the rite of explosion.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, Kifkin. It's like riding a bike.
All right. So
You hook everything up and then it goes boom.
So the three of you, you're going straight for the tunnel?
Yeah.
Okay. So this tunnel, it goes down. You can roll me a perception.
I figured Donnie's
my-
like an Arbite investigator, so he can't be entirely incompetent.
He got in that position for a reason.
Would my armor have a way of video recording what we see?
No, we haven't given that specific.
Okay.
I'm going to use luck in this instance,
Yeah.
so that I can re-roll that 4, because I don't
Mhm.
want to don't want to have that. I've got 3 more uses left. Hiya! Hey, a little bit better. So 10 plus that is 20, not natural.
20. Okay. So you beat Donnie. So you're going to be the first to notice things down here. One of which is that footsteps, as soon as you get into the dry part of this tunnel, there is all footsteps, the most recent ones leading out, of about 6 or 7 persons. But they're quite old. There's a bit of dust above them, and there's definitely some rains that have made little creeks down into the tunnel.
All right, I'll say this over comms as I see it.
Okay, and Johnny turns on the flashlight on the carapace and lights the way down. And after a couple minutes walking down, the cave opens up a little bit to what is almost like a full wall of the same dark gray concrete-like material you found in the other mine. But there is a small steps, like 3 or 4 steps, with the rest of the steps probably under the earth here, leading up to a door that is open. And down the hall, you see another opening. There's 30 meters of hallway before it opens up into something you cannot see from here.
Okay.
I believe Sefenia can see in the dark, so she may volunteer to lead. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you have
So
night vision.
Yep. So she'll go ahead and take point, and as quietly as possible, will make her way down this hallway, up the steps and down the hallway.
Okay.
Do you want a stealth roll?
Yeah, you could. If you want to stealth in, you can.
Yep.
I'm not. I'm just going to walk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dear Fantasy Grounds, I would like to be able to roll this if we could.
In the box. Release in the box.
Yeah. I thought I was, but
Apparently Fantasy Grounds disagree.
Yes.
Oh,
so,
all right.
no.
You hear all yourself, like the heavy boots, they lightly click, but it's lighter than you normally would.
Okay.
And as you go down the hallway, you notice that it opens up to a pyramid-shaped room. In the middle, there's a small elevated platform with stairs around it, with a table on it.
I quietly relay this information back over comms about the shape of the room, the steps, and the pyramid. Do I recognize the significance of this?
Same thing. Is there anything within ecclesiarchal lore that I could possibly recall?
Well, you can try, but you're not going to find any.
Give it a shot.
This is not. The first thing you know, this is not made by the church.
Okay, so this is definitely okay.
Anything on the walls? Any murals, paintings, symbols?
The walls are actually completely flat, like a mirror that doesn't reflect, but almost metal-like. But it's the same concrete.
Donnie, I presume the other sites don't exactly look like this?
I've never been in a building like this.
Wonderful. I step forward into this chamber.
Yeah. He scans his searchlight around, lighting the room.
Are there any illusions? Is any of this an illusion I can see through?
Yeah, you have your power for that. There's no illusions here. There is the table in the middle, which seems to be the focal point of this room. There's no other corridors either.
I will very carefully approach the table.
Okay. As you do, you notice that the table is almost like a painting, and it's full of inscriptions. And the inscriptions themselves form shapes as well. If you have any type of occult, you can roll me.
The only thing I've got is ecclesiarchal lore. I wouldn't think that would apply here.
Insight would be the only thing I might.
Well, you can. Yeah, both of you can roll me an insight and see what your best guess is.
Sure. Hiya. Hey. I'm going to use my second use of luck to try and see.
Same.
Yep. Much better.
Okay.
So 14 plus 14, 28.
Yeah. So with 28, and how much do you have?
14 total.
14. Okay. The 14 will tell you it's some old language, but the 28 will actually reveal some sort of square shape in the inscriptions. So the inscriptions are like if you have a painting, the individual strokes that form a pattern as well.
Donnie, do you have a way of taking an image of this?
Well, not with us. No.
I go on comms. Kifkin, I hope you have a very visual mind. And I begin to describe the symbols that I see.
By the description, Kifkin, you'll know that it would be something you would actually need to try to read and study to get the meaning of.
I need to come down there.
Yes. Madam, did we know that Matilda couldn't penetrate psychically into the other place? We did not. Okay. I'll mention that this seems to be. This is located within a wall, a building built of the same dark concrete as we found at 77. It's an unusual composition, something that is not normal to mining facilities.
Kipkin, go with care.
I didn't know we named the explosive, but okay. And takes the debt charge.
You know, Kipkin, I think that is possibly the funniest thing you've ever said. You should write it down later.
Pulls his Inferno pistol and has the explosives and just walks off into the mine.
All right.
Matilda's sure about the combo, but she's gonna let it go. Kipkin's the one that's been most scared of this explosion, so she's not too worried.
Okay. So Kifkin, as you arrive, you see the same inside of pyramid shape with a table.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go about studying it?
He'll actually take a halo lamp, put it on his head so he has top-down illumination, and start from the table, work around it, and then start consulting if there's anything on the floor, and then up the walls. So just a gradual scan from the center of the room, and then gradually to the outskirts of the room.
Yeah. What you get from that is that the table itself, while it does blend correctly with the rest of the room, has no connection, so to say. It is what it is. It is a picture, and then you can roll me any type of occult knowledge you would like to apply, and I will flavor the response in the type you roll.
Well, I've got magic, occult, and Xenos. So let's go with occult first.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a 27.
A 27. What you can gather from this is you start to see patterns in the writing, and you could probably at least get the meaning of it if you were to study longer time on these inscriptions. But they are very akin to that. There's parts, especially towards the left and the right of the square shape, that seem to note some sort of ritual.
Okay. Also, just noting that on top of Low Gothic, he speaks High Gothic and Eldari.
Okay.
So... Huh. There's definitely a ritual here. Huh.
Yes, it's part. It could be part of a ritual. And what else did you have? You had Xenos and magic.
All my expertise are magic, occult, technology, and Xenos.
Yeah, you can roll me a
Also-
separate Xenos one. The magic is not going to give you a different result.
Okay. 17 on the Xenos.
Okay. From all you've heard of Xenos is that this doesn't match any Xenos race you know, but it could very well be a long gone or unknown Xenos language.
Okay. You're old. And obscure. Yeah, there's something here, and it's something that defies my experience, so that's also comforting. And by the composition of the building, its location, as well as the diamond or square layout of the buildings, I would suffice to say this is either a temple as part of a focusing ritual or a summons.
Do you have hero points left?
I have 1 hero point left.
Are you on communication at all? Just real quick before Bastian.
He's to himself muttering, just taking it all in.
Yeah. So one thing you do, that's for everyone, by the way, with the rule system, is hero points do allow you to alter a power you have to do something a power can do which you don't have, which that is the same as the ritualist and artificer, but a one-off. What you could do is take the hasten. I think it's hasten or speed. It's not speed. There is a power that allows you to do a task within seconds instead of hours. So you could use your hero point to speed up your research. But then you
sure. Let's have a miraculous aha moment.
Okay. For that hero point, as you go down that train of thought with the positioning and the ritual, and it is very akin to rituals of sealing or binding. And one conclusion you can easily make is that this location where you are now is at the south of the 4 squares. And now you look closer, one of the insignia there. Basically, the corner of the table where that denotes this location has almost no occult patterns around it. The two on the left and the right, they hold some form of sealing scribes. It's almost like instructions, and then the top one it holds words you cannot read, but no rituals.
Kifkin,
you bastards!
I hate
you
to interrupt.
bastards!
Kifkin,
What?
I hate to interrupt, but a pyramid is a perfect square with a point at the top.
Technically, yes.
We have 4 places on a map that are a perfect square. What's the point at the top?
At this moment, Tilda comes through on the comms and she says, Kifkin, what is in the middle of the diamond?
Oh, I'm fairly certain that there's something sealed down here, and based on previous rituals and whatnot. So, anyone want to face off against a primordial demon that actually predates humanity? Because I think that's what we got down here.
So the point of the diamond, so the point of the pyramid is down and not up.
Yeah,
we can't
probably
assume.
its core.
Kifkin, for you, it's more a reference to geographical location rather than shape of the pyramid.
Yeah, no, this is a geographical convergence, but I'm okay. Almost dead certain that this place is sealing something, and our heretics are trying to unseal it. So whatever is popping fresh and bound here, yeah. So
In 77, we blew up.
yeah. So
We need to go to 75.
I'm guessing that's at the center point.
Yeah, the top.
Yeah,
top
that's
of
the top of the pyramid.
square.
So if you're going to unseal, there would be a ritual involved. We've already damaged significantly the bindings, so that's going to make this easier.
And they
And
were people and explosives.
yeah, to probably do something that would have been an easier ritual, which would have been coordinating the explosives in an arcane way so they'd all detonate simultaneously whilst performing the ritual at a height of an ecstatic frenzy. But
So, do we not need to hurry then to the other side?
we do. But most definitely, and also have the Emperor's son just move over those coordinates in case the demon does get summoned, in which case a lance will at least irritate it. Okay. Well, we're dealing with something that is primordially bound to a planet. Vasily,
How do we
you remember
stop them? Kifkin.
that?
What?
Kill the
How do we
ritualist.
prevent?
Kill the ritualist. Stop the ritual. All
Alright, talk and walk. Let's go.
I practically pick up Kifkin and let him keep talking as I'm carrying him out.
Unless Kifkin's about to tell me there's something we can do at this site right now, we're talking and walking and we're going.
we're going. But Vasily, you remember that angel story I was telling you earlier?
Yes, absolutely.
That demon, it had a name. And it was bound by the Emperor with the aid of the angel to a planet. That's how he bound the primordial thing that was plaguing humanity from the dawn of time.
I'm going to stop dead in my tracks and then delve into like my own mind trying to figure out if there is any possibility that that demon that was mentioned in the beginning could be this demon now, or if this is just some unfortunate coincidence.
But with your really high roll earlier, trying to find parallels between the patterns and what the church would know, is that there is a zero correlation. Only in terms that of the way rituals are performed, and not so much. There's not a single sign of an Aquila or anything Church of the God Emperor related in there.
Okay. And
you would know if mankind would have sealed a demon, there would be either be all over the place or really subtly placed.
no, this is wrong. There's no damn Aquila anywhere. There's barely any
Vasily by
holy
the
symbols.
hand and start dragging him along as I'm carrying Kifkin off.
It's like a mom and
I'm-
pop this supermarket.
Yes, exactly.
No, I retch my hand and start running. Like
as you three go down the tunnel, Donnie lingers for a couple of seconds before he also turns and strides behind you.
As we get back to the top, Kifkin is going to take the care package and disable the timer.
I'd like to insight check Donnie. As he paused.
Same here.
Go ahead.
Hiya. Okay, so that's
I am not rolling well tonight at all.
28 on, or no, 26. Excuse me.
11.
Okay. It's more of a sightseeing stare rather than any supernatural going on.
Right, man. Tarry any further, and I'll have to saw your legs off. Drag you. Come on.
Before you can actually start saying that, he's already turned and moving. So
Good.
It like Kifkin almost like now fully personifying the bomb. You have a place to be. You have a purpose in all of this. It's not here.
all right. So you all gather back at the vehicle.
Yeah.
What's your next destination?
Hightailing it to 75.
Okay. That is about an hour. From each location to the other is about an hour. And this one, well, it should actually technically, if you take a straight line, you would take 1.5 hours. And as you get to the one of the roads leading there, you do notice that there has been a lot of vehicle traffic on this road. Like earlier today.
Let us hope it takes a while to do this ritual.
Doing anything properly takes time. Though that blood thing, they're doing the blood thing. They're most definitely doing the blood thing. Oh, I haven't observed.
And we will spill theirs.
So, just be careful about which ones you spill. They may be using prepared vessels, and if they die, that might trigger the thing.
You want me to allow a heretic to live?
The heretic, well, it's complicated. If it's the prince, then yes, you need to let the heretic live. I'll put it this way. If anyone's participating in some sort of bizarre sexual congress, don't shoot them.
I will take their heads.
Define bizarre.
Nope.
I was just thinking that.
So it's so funny when she was going to say it.
No, the thing is with certain summonings or certain
Require an
ritualistic-
orgy. Yes, I know.
but you don't kill them because that's what the ritualist would do. At the height of ecstasy, you kill them and that summons the thing.
Cut them short.
Yes.
You can, let them finish, and then all that potency goes away.
Oh, welcome to Warhammer After Dark.
Yeah. All right. So, in this case, after
Just stunned silence for
for the rest of the trip.
Matilda has actually been like just silent this whole time, just letting the team figure out what we're doing.
You can get sight on the site.
Playing with Kipkin.
You can get sight on the site with about 5 to 10 minutes driving remaining. So, as you do notice that there's the compound is a bit, quite a bit larger than the other ones, similar in setup, but there's a whole bunch of vehicles parked. Like at least 30.
Like a blockade or like a car park?
with the room there's several rows just parked beside and behind each other, and there's at the entrance there's two vehicles parked, and at the probably at the other side of the compound, other entrances would have something similar. To get any more, you'd either need to approach or roll me really high perceptions or details like that, or go travel there.
I would like to roll a perception because she would look and she would be looking for ways in. So I'm gonna try.
Yeah. And I'm gonna assume that Lifkin passed the car as soon as you got any hint of sight there. So
27.
No.
I think. Let me double check my sheet.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, 27.
27 as well.
These vehicles, a couple of them are identical to the one you're driving, and others are trucks.
So we could arrive at least slightly inconspicuously if we don't drive too weirdly. Just park.
Oh, we are driving an Arbite half truck.
Yeah, but we're also driving an armored vehicle.
Several of these vehicles are also Arbite half trucks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to venture a guess and presume, hopefully, that the Arbites that formerly owned these vehicles are no longer with us. And if they are still with us, then
Donnie,
they...
call in an alert at Refinery 25. That is just a few hours from here.
Okay,
Loyal Arbites would have to respond.
Yeah, I can call in.
Call Josephine and Antonius Danica have been sighted, and they are currently still there.
Okay.
But they have a vehicle and they may leave soon.
Okay. I will call this in. Then he
Thank you.
properly calls it in.
I can go in on foot if you would like me to.
I imagine you could, Stephania. However, you are the least subtle. No offense of any of us walking in.
Do we want to be subtle at this point if our goal is to interrupt?
Yes, but I worry that on sight they will see you and they will trigger whatever it is they are up to. We know that the last site was rigged. The explosion in the communications tower was evidence of this. They have awareness. There is only one Sister of Battle that I know of on this planet. The sight of you, they would take you out as quickly as they could, and probably themselves in the entire operation, and we would... Well...
We would have accomplished what we sought, and that is to interrupt their...
It interrupts, but it may hasten also. We have concerns about the damage to Site 77.
We have concerns about a lot of things.
Yes, we do.
So I'm assuming this...
If we are to strike, we need to make something focused. And have a good plan.
I suggest you do it quickly, because we don't really have time.
I am aware of that, Kifkin. Give me ideas!
Well, I can quietly park, and we can walk and talk. Whilst there, I can bring the care package, and if it's early enough into the ritual, we can just detonate it. If not, well, find the person who is ritualistically chanting or looks to be in charge, and shoot them in the head.
I can do this.
Can do that as well.
Though I'm getting more and more of the sneaking suspicion that this is going to be something more ritualistic and less orgiastic. So, careful when using fire.
Alright, let
Aw.
me try something while you determine between you your methodologies. Matilda is going to attempt to walk the warp, and she's going to go see if she can find another way in that isn't the front door. Maybe
Okay.
some half-buried entrance or something. It's not mine. There might be more than one drop in.
Roll me a willpower to see if it works first.
22?
You do you warn them before you do?
No, she's just gonna just let her head drop. She says, just let me try something. Get on with your planning.
And she faints. After that, her eyes turn inside out as she closes her eyes, and it will take quite a walk, afloat to get there. And as you survey the terrain, you see several squads of Arbites, some SWAT, some normal Arbites, positioned hanging out around the entrances to the camp.
Mm-hmm.
It's not walled. There's some hills around it that shelter it a little bit from directions. You could probably approach from one of those hills, although you do notice that there's also a couple of lookouts located up there.
Is there any sign of the Arbites getting paged about the call?
No. Another thing you notice here is that there's a lot of footsteps leading to a tunnel entrance.
All right.
And all the other vehicles are empty.
She's gonna try and go down the tunnel entrance. Or she's gonna approach to that tunnel entrance.
Okay.
While Matilda is doing this, can Sifenya use her combat expertise to determine how best to assault a fortified position such as this?
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the moment we could just walk into a murder hole. That is the ringtone of the murder hole. Come on, Sifenya, I believe in you. Nice.
So 22.
22. Normal protocol would be to assemble a suitable force, preferably overwhelming force, to breach the location. But a more realistic approach for you would be to sneak in past guards and go from there.
Yep.
That'll work.
So I'll wait for the Inquisitor to return.
Yeah.
And inform her of that.
Yeah. Matilda, as you go down the cave, you notice...
She just wants to stay at the wall.
Oh, okay.
That's a physical psycho type wall.
Yeah, so the cave itself, did you actually go down the cave? No, okay, you just
go test.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to walk in herself a psycho alarm.
Yeah, okay. As you look in, it's empty, but the lights that line the ceiling, they are lit.
Right,
mining lights.
She's going to return to her body because she needs to talk to her team before she does anything else.
Okay. So Matilda wakes up.
Madam Inquisitor, our best way of breaching, of making entry, is going to be using stealth and finding a point. It's sneaking in past these guards. We do not have the force required to make a direct assault. We will need to slip in quietly and unnoticed.
Are these... Donnie asks... So these are Arbeit vehicles. Who's guarding them?
It appears
are there Arbeits?
Yes, and they are not responding to the call that you put in.
Yeah, but I think a call would have to be dispatched from communications to a specific unit to respond. And if these are here on duty, then they will answer to their officer.
What an inefficient system. All right.
Donnie, not to presume your relative station within the Arbites, but perhaps if you were to find a few of your brethren here, would you be able to command them?
Yes, that was actually what I was hinting at. If unless they're compromised, if to put it in your words.
If they're heretics, we burn them.
Officer requires backup.
Well, I think most Arbeits know me by rank and name, so and there's only 2 ranks above me, which is David and his second in command.
Madam Inquisitor, may I introduce to you our entry card to the mines?
It is worth a go. Go.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Do we still have that Arbite uniform? Was there a second
Donnie's
Arbite uniform? I was wearing
Unless
Donnie's.
they've got
Okay.
spares in here. But yeah, you're wearing Donnie's.
Donnie does have his badge of office with him. He is wearing one of the Inquisitorial carapace from the ship, which is slightly better.
Mm-hmm. I can go. I have ways to disable people that are a little more subtle than a gun.
Why don't we all go?
You may follow. 5 people walking across a car park is kind of obvious. And you are quick on your feet, Vasily. I've seen it many times.
Donnie is we're in an Arbite half track. Can't we just drive up and identify myself?
Yes.
A lot of tension. We are already parked. Just walk, and I will walk. And then you guys can hop out and run across the field.
Yeah. Okay. It's gonna take a while, but yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, Stefania's got power armor. That's got to have hydraulic legs, right? She can run fast. She's got ranged weapons.
The power armor enables her to walk in the armor.
Well, good. Then she can walk. That'll be real subtle once we get in.
Yeah.
Can we possibly pull a little closer?
Sure.
You Americans are so friggin' lazy.
Hey,
I was willing to go the distance. Vasily needs the exercise. Damn.
Cliff can find a spot a little closer.
it's more of not wanting to have such a time space between
It's not that
Matilda's arrival.
far. It's only a couple of rows of cars. We'll be fine.
All right.
Kifkin will find some way in the far future to double park.
I think it'd just be really suspicious if we park and then we move the vehicle again. And everyone, if they're not expecting an Arbite vehicle, is really going to watch this vehicle, whereas just 2 people walking up is less terrifying.
In
See, I assumed we were
field.
sitting back about a half a mile away.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
All right. So yeah, we'll just go.
Oh, we're
All
like
right.
not. I thought we'd parked up in the compound again.
Oh, okay.
No.
I misunderstood.
You stopped at the distance of about 1 to 2 kilometers as soon as
Oh,
you
then
get
yeah, we
sight.
drove up a bit closer
Yeah.
than we are.
Oh,
We
well,
parked
yeah,
up in the
no.
compound.
Oh, so then we might as well just drive on up if we haven't been observed.
Just
We might as
drive.
well just drive up in the Arbite vehicle.
Does Kifkin drive it before anyone gets out? That's the main question.
I just imagine Vasily with like two fistfuls of hair in his hand.
The Kifkin won't pull. We'll let
Donnie,
people out.
wait, hold on. Donnie, what is the normal procedure? Would you normally park or would you drive all the way to the entrance?
Well, if I were to engage conversation with any Arbites, I would just drive up and talk to them. And
Out the window.
yeah, just like.
All right,
you
everyone
normally
in the back, let's go.
But once we're there, see, I can assume command, but that if there's someone else with my rank or higher there, could be compromised. How do I? What do I tell them?
That Arbites might be about to die.
Yes,
This
I
is a
already
fact.
realized that.
How likely is it, given the number of Arbites that are here, that there is someone of your rank here?
There
Well,
has to be
there's
someone of my rank here. There's multiple squads, so definitely at least one. Someone is coordinating them.
That is fine. Then you can
Then
have a conversation about what's going on in the capital, anything you like about Josephine and Antonius, who you're hunting, and that's why you're not in the capital where you should be, because they were under your charge, were they not? Were you not the liaison? Matilda hurriedly invents a story of why the hell Donnie is out here.
Yeah, I can spin that. But then, if we put the rest in the back and I drive up, that I'm searching for them, at least I can get whatever is going on here. But if it's anything like the other facility, I don't think it's going to be right.
At which point, I will subtly make them fall to the ground, and everyone else can go down the hall.
Okay.
And allow
failing
the...
And
What do you mean failing that? You have doubts that you can go down the hall, Vasily?
I doubt that they might fall over. In which case, I hold up the flamer.
Okay. So Donnie takes the wheel, assuming the rest is going to be in the back.
Yeah.
Head down. Windows
Windows
just closed.
Are you flaming anyone?
Yeah. He drives up to the vehicles. They do bear weapons, but they don't raise them, as it's another Arbeit vehicle. And you hear muffled through the shutter. He's saying, he's telling them your cover story, and they don't appear to be aware of the warrant, and they left. So one of the guards actually says, "Yeah, we were hurried for transport here, and now we're just on watch." And David. Okay, so who's in command? Well, David himself ordered the convoy.
Psychic game on.
Yeah. And Donnie he's kind of speechless. Okay, so can I just drive up? And he waves on, and you are driving into the compound, which has a cordon of there's several SWAT cars as well, 3 of them, and most of the others are half tracks or just generic transport trucks. And he parks up at the big rows of vehicles and just puts it next to them. And he opens the hatch.
Based on what I've seen of vehicles and what I know of Arbites, what would be my estimate of armed personnel here?
Okay. There's three SWAT cars, which would hold 3 squads of 10. actual SWAT officers. Then there is 7 half tracks, which would hold regular Arbeit squads, which would be of 6, and they hold 2 each. So you could have up to 12 per half track, which is similar to yours, but you would be cramped. And if you are in riot gear, that's not going to work. And all the trucks, you could everything combined, you could go up to 300 to 400 bodies.
We are facing an army.
So they mentioned
Okay,
something
well,
about escort.
Yes, they did. I thought someone else was going to ask about it, so I didn't want to bring it up.
That's what Donnie says to you.
Oh, I see. Yes, I'm
But
very
they,
curious what it was they were escorting or transporting. And David is here.
Actually, they didn't mention if he's here or not, but it appears he did order this expedition.
Oh, he ordered it. He didn't. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it could be.
Well, Donnie, why don't we see if your boss is here? That would be good to know, especially if he could come up here to see you.
So how do we do that?
You ask to see him? You do report to him, no?
Yeah, I could go out there. Yeah, give me. I'll see if anyone knows anything. There's looks to be like communications post as well here, so they will know if he's here.
Would you like
Can
a
I
guide?
give him-
I don't see why not.
I want to give him one last insight check. I give up.
I stop questioning.
Yeah,
Yes.
you stop questioning. With an 11. With an 11, you don't really get any motive other than that he's not really sure if he's qualified for this.
We literally have no one subtle with us except for Matilda. And that is not ideal.
Especially considering you have the face of a wanted criminal.
Although Psycho and
Yuli.
Psycho is a bit more of a fair fight than Psycho on anything else.
You lead, Donnie. I follow.
Yeah. Okay, so he gets out of the vehicle. And you have your normal armor on, right? Like not.
Yeah, regalia, Mordian, Iron Regiment, etc., etc.
Yeah. Okay. Then.
Like we've got the escaped convict going in because we can't send the 2 wanted people, and a sister of battle is the least. Although actually, it would probably make sense for Stefania to go because she's already been
But I
causing trouble
looked
at the army,
However,
and she's a sister of battle.
The 2 of them are walking across now as you think of this. So Vasily and Donnie are walking towards the communications building. And inside there's 2 Arbeits in uniform, not armor. And
strangely,
they look up and they're waiting for you two to speak, and Donnie waits for you to speak.
oh, good Emperor. Strangely lax for a outpost such as this. We need to speak with David as quickly as possible.
David, I can try to patch you through, but he's busy in the capital, so...
In the capital. Is there any way to have his presence called for here? It is a rather urgent matter.
Well, we can relay any message you would like us to send. And they look to Donnie, recognize his face, and so you're with escorting the special guests now? Donnie looks at you. Yes.
Yes, there's been a bit of a misunderstanding, especially concerning the actions of Josephine and Antonius, I believe.
Who are they?
Visiting persons of great importance. This is not of concern to you. Get us through to David, please.
Yeah, well, we'll try to patch to him. He gets on the headset and starts trying to reach him. After a couple of minutes of trying, it's unresponsive. He appears to be busy and his squad unreachable.
Disconcerting and disappointing. Donnie, any ideas?
Vasily, find a way into the mine. Using the comms, not his head.
Mm-hmm. You might confuse the two. Ideas. That's all for now. Thank you.
Brilliant. I march out and start leading Donnie to the mines, like, directly.
Okay. From the vehicle, you can see them coming out and starting to cross.
Would you like me to go catch up, Madam Inquisitor?
Yes, Sophia, why not? Just terrify them. Imply that they're not doing their jobs very well and you're here to do an inspection. I don't care. We need to get in.
I can just get in.
I mean, I can just get in too.
The helmet goes down.
What do you mean you can get in and not be seen?
I'm just good at hiding.
I literally want to hold your head in the toilet right now.
Stephanie's got the helmet down. She's slipping out of the vehicle. Getting out of the vehicle. Does Vasily have his flamer with him?
You know, Kipkin, why don't we let them go that way? We'll go this way and we can meet in the middle.
If that ways to the mine, sure.
Does Vasily have his flamer on him?
Oh, of course I do.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So
Yeah,
once I've
he's-
got it, I'm not letting it go.
Yeah, she comes out, power sword in hand, chainsword in hand, and out.
Yeah, as you get out and meet Vasily and Donnie in the middle, a lot of the guards have taken notice and they're walking, like casually walking, converging towards the same location, and they don't have their weapons out.
Yeah, she just keeps walking towards the mine entrance.
And when they come close enough, one of them puts his hand up towards Donnie and says, "What's the matter? New
Sir, what is your name? Yeah, as soon as he tries to flag us down, I'm going to walk directly to him and ask him pointedly, Sir, what is your name?
Johan. And it says
Johan.
so on his Arbeit uniform as well, on the badge.
Johan, very lovely. Would you like to be charged formally with interfering with official imperial business?
Aren't we all on official
Of a higher
business,
order
yeah?
and importance than your stupid questioning.
No, but we're just standing here in an open field if we can help.
Marvelous. You can offer your services further to my good friend here. And I motion to Donnie.
Sir.
Ask another question and you will have to avoid a court
he
martial.
He salutes Donnie, and I didn't recognize you in these in this different uniform. Donnie, can we help? We're kind of bored out here.
Over the comms, Safenya is going to remind Vasily and Donnie that the heretics use people who have no clue what is going on and are innocent on the top level as cover.
Safenya, I would kindly keep in mind there is no innocence. There are only varying degrees of guilt. If these sinners can atone by offering their services succinctly...
Use the Arbites. Let's go.
Fine. Donnie, take command of the situation. Have them follow us immediately. I march forward.
Yep.
Not
And-
even
Yes, Safenya's
bothering with
already
questions.
moving.
All right, Kipkin, let's go.
And Donnie, the last thing you hear before you get out of earshot is asking for who's highest in command on the guards. And now walks off towards one of the squad cars with
Wrong.
Arbites.
Wrong bloody direction, you... Going to where the mine.
Okay. And so the two of you, Kivkin is staying with Matilda?
We just got out of the car.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
we
got out
just
of the car. Oh, yeah.
Are sneaking away.
So you're joining Vasily and Svenja then?
Well, we're heading to the mine.
Yeah.
But
We would like to use an inconspicuous route if possible.
Yeah, there's one entrance. There's no
Yeah.
guards in front of the mine, so...
Yay for hide in plain sight. I'm going to stealth up.
Okay.
Nice.
You can roll me a stealth.
Did you bring your
19.
package?
Did you
Yes.
bring care?
The care is with me.
You need
Yes.
a second one called attention.
So,
Loving
Nice.
care and attention.
you, for the rest of you, Kivkin, you gotta take a few seconds to find him. Every time you think you know where he's walking, he's not there. But he's not hiding from you, so you do manage to keep track of him. He's stealthy. A lot more stealthy than you imagine. As you converge towards...
I already lost him once already.
As you converge towards the entrance, you can all roll me a perception. And Cleric, because you... Oh wait, there's lights on. Never mind. So everyone has the same bonus.
Hiya! Good rolls! Good rolls all around!
9.
24.
24.
28. 28.
20. Okay. You do notice that like 100 meters into the mine, before you're spotted, so to say, there's something of a barricade with SWAT officers behind it.
How many?
10.
That we can tell. 10.
With those high rolls, you're gonna be able to count.
I'm waiting for an order from the Inquisitor.
And I'm gonna... Who rolled the highest?
Me, I think. 29.
So- Probably. Matilda, you were the first to notice, and I assume you stopped the rest from moving when you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, certainly Kipkin if she can catch his eye. And since we all have high perception, I'm imagining we all spot Matilda stop.
Yeah, definitely. You all notice that Matilda stops, and as soon as you do, you realize that there's a barricade further ahead with people behind it, and you are just out of sight for them.
Spotting this, Kifkin's going to do one of his legendarily stupid actions.
Oh, join the squad. Okay. What's your legendarily stupid action?
Yeah.
Going to find the nearest vehicle.
Yeah.
He's going to go, and he's going to rig its control panel to explode.
I knew this.
I don't
was
like your stupid
I knew
action. This is not a good action. Let's not do a door smash.
Well, no, it's a means for drawing them away from their position,
It's a
going in the
distraction.
mistake, and letting him slip past.
Then, in either case, we're gonna do that next week because it's a good moment. You get a week to think on if this is the correct course of action, or
That's the correct choice. No question.
We'll see. So that wraps it up for today. More next week. Let's go around the cast and crew, see how you enjoyed yourself today, and where can we find you online. And let's do the same circle, starting at Cleric of Court.
Oh, we who are about to die next week salute you. I'm Cleric of Cord. I am Sivania Gregori, a sister of battle who is hoping to survive this if the Inquisitor doesn't kill her. You can find me pretty much all over the Twitters and the Twitches throughout the week, playing on different games, different streams. I have a pinned tweet at the top of my page, and you can find me back here on Thursdays, playing a Warforged War Mage by the name of Due Diligence, and then in a low fantasy gaming with a Blood Plague setting, similar to the Warhammer Fantasy setting. It's a lot of fun. I love this. This is going to be great. We're all going to die. I just know it. Either with our brains leaking out of our ears or because the Arbites have killed us. One of the two is going to happen. It doesn't get any better than this.
Kifkin, Pope.
Hey, Pope World Build here over on the Twitters, on the Twitches. It's just World Build. That was a lot. That was a whole heck of a lot today. If you're looking to find me, aside from here every Monday, starting week from tomorrow, I will be over on Encounter Josh's channel here on Twitch, participating in his first campaign on his own channel. So
Nice.
get to see me do something I've never done before, and that is play a gnome. So
That's a first for everything.
yeah, so if you want to see a tinier, even more scatterbrained version of myself and my myriad personas, tune in week from tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern for that. But as to next week, well, explosions are usually the du jour of the day, and we'll see just how many happen.
Yep. Cool. Jason.
Yes, I'm here, and I am happy to be here. Finally, we can get to the actual meat of this lovely course that's been prepared for us. Just Jason, please, on Twitter. You can find me here on Mondays. You can find me over on Susanna Grace's channel, alternating Tuesdays with a few interesting things coming down the pipe. Then on Thursdays over on Pro. I didn't want to get his name wrong. Pro Restarter. Yes, I got there. But over on his channel. Wonderful work all around there, and geez, this is going to be a fun time next week, isn't it? Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Just ran out of time to do some shooting, so. Charlie, how do you feel?
I hate it. I hate it. And I hate planning on the run, especially in a game that is... Alright, I'm going to have a mini run. Especially in a game that is Theater of the Mind. I love Theater of the Mind, but the downside of it is when you're planning infiltration and similar missions, everyone has different pictures in their head of what is going on. And it means we all sound like idiots because we're all pitching totally different things because we're matching what's in our brains as to what the actuality might be. Especially when you're in a time crunch, it's really difficult. I hate it. But that said, I always have a lot of fun playing this. It was a lot of fun tonight. I think we're all about to do some real stupid stuff. It's just choosing your brand of stupid. That's what's going on. It's just choosing at what point you want to, do the ridiculous thing and see if it works. I did really enjoy tonight that we invented our own ritual to create Heresy Da, which is my new favorite thing. I think in war, you invent new weapons, you find new ways, you make it work. And when you've got a team with as many special skills as we have, we should be working together. No, I had a lot of fun today. I super appreciate this cast. Even if Matilda is a bitch to you all, I love you. Matilda is in panic mode right now because she knows what her goal is and how to attain it is becoming more and more difficult as more and more unknowns and strangeness is thrown into it to make it more complicated and convoluted. I am at Frostfire on the Twitters. And, sorry, Kat, what were you going to say? I heard the click of your mic turning on.
It was a thing. Never mind.
All right.
Yeah, I'm at Frostfire on the Twitters. I am back here, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday for a new mini-series, which will be announced very soon. I also have a couple of other things coming up, which I'm very excited to announce. I'm not allowed to yet because boo. In the meantime, I am back tomorrow on Pro Restarter's channel at 1 p.m. Eastern, playing some Dungeon World, in which I play a really cute halfling druid who has a miserable time but loves her party.
Yeah, nice. So, I'm Vuurmanager or Bastian. I run tech here on this channel. You can find me here or on my website. I'm gonna post a link in chat in a bit. And next Monday for Divinity Original Sin 2 and another episode of Inquisitor, where now it's the cards are mostly on the table now, finally. And I feel that you actually made the correct call at the correct time for once. Because if you went a different way, this would have been happening as well. That's kind of how I build my timelines. Actions have consequences and set things in motion, and they happen if you're there to see it or not. So looking forward to next week. Enjoy today. And I will hand you over to an empty tunnel until a host jumps in it. Because after this, you'll be able to watch... what's the show again?
Play D&D Ravnica Unleashed.
Yes, definitely. And they I think they're all ready, but it is up to them to grab you. Go get a drink before they go on, and see you all next week. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.